Hey guys, welcome to SabriZone. In this video tutorial, we are going to create a fancy navbar. In the previous video, we were created order replacement navbar, and in the second last video, we were created a simple navbar. So it is our last topic, which is about fancy navbar. Let's finish this. If I will press F12 and I will take you to the mobile view, you can see that order replacement navbar and fancy navbar are not different from each other, and in a computer view they are extremely different from each other, as Laravel gives Tailwind CSS and Alpine.js out of the box. So if you are using Laravel, you can skip this section, but if you are going to create it from scratch, you can follow my steps. So in the next step I will install Tailwind CSS. So let's minimize this and create a folder. I will name it a fancy navbar, fancy navbar. Okay, let's open this folder inside VS Code. So we will go to the open folder from the desktop, and this will be a fancy navbar. Okay, great. First of all, I will create a file. So this file name will be index.html. Okay, some HTML syntax here. Okay, great. So instead of this title, I will type here fancy navbar. You have to install Node.js first. So you can install Node.js from their website, Node.js, and you can download the latest version from this website. As I have already installed, so I will go to my terminal and I will type here npm init with the y flag. This will skip multiple questions. Okay, my package.json file have been created. So now it's time to install Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind CSS install. I will use post CSS, so we will copy our first command from here. So as I also want to install a white server which will automatically refresh my page, so I will install a white server too. So we will copy our second command, but you can see in our second step we need to create a file with the name of post css.config.js. but if I will use a p flag with this, the second step will also generate it. So I will paste it inside my terminal. So with the p flag, okay, as you can see, our post css.config.js file is already created. So if we will go down, you can see it is asking me where to implement this Tailwind CSS. So I want to implement my Tailwind CSS inside the whole project. So I will place a static here. Okay, the next step is about creating a style.css file. So I will copy this and I will create a new file with the name of style.css. So I will paste this inside. Okay, so the last step is about the script. We need to run this script. So we will go to our package.json file. Instead of this test, we will type here def, and instead of this I will type here white. Okay, great. So we will copy our this step and we will paste it here. Okay, great. It has generated a link for me. Let's open it inside our browser. You can see the link is opened successfully, but it is empty. So we will copy this code to check whether our CSS is working successfully or not. So let's paste it inside index.html. So I will paste it here. Okay, I need to link my CSS file here. So link :css. Okay, now let's check inside browser. Refresh it once again. It is not working. style. So style.css. I think I need to rename it, and I will type a dot here instead of this comma. Okay, now it looks great. So now it should be underlined. Okay, great. Let's create a fancy navbar. So let's make a plan how we will create a fancy navbar. As you can see, we have bunch of divs inside it. So first one is a major div, and inside that major divs we have two other major divs. So one major div contain logo and brand and login registration detail, and second major div contain links of this website. So let's create a major div. So we will go to our index.html. Instead of this, I will type here div with the class of container and mx auto. Okay, so let's create two major divs inside this. So first one will be div with the class of flex. As Tailwind uses mobile first approach, so we will type here a flex call. So in a mobile view it will be a flex call, and at the medium breakpoint it will be a flex row. Okay, great. And we will add some padding on the x-axis. So px2, I think px4 will be a better one, and we will add padding on the y-axis, that will be also 4, and some background color. So bg will be gray, 200 will be enough, and let's add a justify between property. Okay, great. So we can close this. Now as you can see, in the major div number 1 we need to create two divs inside it, but in the major div number 2 we need to create only one div. I will copy div number 1, major div number 1, and I will create a major div number 2, but instead of justify between I will use mx auto property here, so our links will be centralized. Okay, so our major div and two major divs are also created. These two major divs are encapsulated inside this major div. So let's create a div for this logo and brand. So we will type here div with the class of flex, mx auto, and items center. Okay, we will create a logo here. So image tag, and I need to copy logo first. So I will go to my desktop. Okay, so I will copy a logo from this and paste it. Okay, the logo will be logo.png, and I will add a class of height. So h will be 12, and let's create a anchor tag. So it will be a with the href of hash, and we will add a class here. So brand name will be SabriZone, and we will add classes. So class will be first of all underline, margin on the left side to font bold, and background font color, text color actually, text blue. I think 900 will be enough. Okay, let's see what we have created. Okay, it looks great. So I need to remove this installation tab, and you can see that our brand section is completed. Now I need to create this login and registration section. So I will create another div. So div with the class flex, justify between all the links, and items should be center. Okay, so let's add links here. So I will copy a link from our logo brand, so I will paste it inside this. I don't need underline and margin left property. Instead of, I will use margin on the x-axis of 2, and text blue is enough instead of font medium. Font bold is okay, so text should be below. I think it is ready to go. Instead of this, I will add here home, and I will duplicate it at least 3 times. So instead of home, it will be for login, and register, and this one will be for visit as a guest. Okay, let's see inside browser what we have created. Okay, it looks great, but you can see that this logo and brand is not at its place where it should be. We need to place it on this side. This is just because of this mx auto property. So we need to encapsulate this div logo and brand inside a div. So I will create a div with the class of flex, and let's close this div, and let's encapsulate this brand section. Okay, let's see inside browser. Now it looks great, but if we will go to the mobile view, okay, it also looks great. So it's time to add a mobile button. Navbar mobile button svg. Okay, so I will click on this first link, let it open. Okay, I will choose this and I will download it as svg. Okay, let's show in the folder. Okay, open in restricted mode. We will select all and copy, and we will paste it inside this div, but we will encapsulate it inside button tag. Okay, great. So we will add a class here. With the class at the medium breakpoint, the button should be hidden. Okay, let's see inside browser. Okay, close this tab. You can see the button is visible at the mobile view, but if we will go to the medium breakpoint, the button is not visible. So it's time to add details inside our second div. As you can see in our second div, we need to create these links. So we will go to our second div. So we will encapsulate this inside a div. So I will create a div with the class of flex. Flex will be a call at the mobile view, flex call, and at the medium breakpoint it will be a flex row. So we will use a mx auto property to make these items centralized, and we will use items center property, items center. Okay, great. So let's add links inside it. So I will copy link from the upper side and I will paste it here. So instead of this login, I will type here home. Let's duplicate it multiple times. Instead of this font bold, I will add font medium. Okay, so let's see inside browser. Okay, it looks great. Home, services, about us, and last one will be for contact us. Okay, great. So let's see inside browser, and if we will go to the mobile view, you can see that it looks fabulous, but we need to add some margin top. So we will add some margin top. So I will keep pressing my alt button and I will click on every single link, and we will type something here. So margin top will be 2, but at the medium breakpoint margin top will be 0. Okay, now it looks great. Now it's time to add Alpine.js. First of all, we need to add Alpine.js CDN. So Alpine.js CDN. So we will copy our first link. So we will copy this script and we will add it inside our head. And now it's time to initiate our Alpine.js. As we need to implement Alpine.js inside this whole div, so we need to initialize inside the outermost div so that it could affect all the divs inside it. So it will be x data is equal to XML syntax is open is false initially. So close this bracket. So we will go to our button and we will type here at click is open will be equal to not is open. Okay, so the last thing which we can do, we can add a show and hidden property inside this div. So we will bind a class here. So class will be equal to is open. I will ask a question here. So is open question mark show, otherwise make it hidden. HIDDEN. Okay, everything seems perfect. Let's check inside browser. Okay, great. As you can see that our navbar is working successfully. But if we will go to our medium breakpoint, you can see that our second navbar or second major div is hidden. This is just because we have added the flex and flex column property. We will hide this and we will, instead of this flex row, we will add here at the medium breakpoint. It should be a flex and it should be visible. So let's see inside browser. You can see that it is visible now and it is looking fabulous as we were expected. But I think we need to add a final touch here. That final touch will be making difference between first div and second div. So I will add a background color of 300 in a first div. So let's see inside browser. Now I think it looks great. If we will go to the mobile view, you can see that it is showing a fabulous view. So this is our fancy navbar. I hope you have enjoyed my lecture. Every like and every subscription will be appreciation. So I would love to get your feedback. You can write a comment for me for any type of query. You can ask me. Thanks for watching. Keep watching SabriZone.